All right. No Wi-Fi. A new location up here at the hotel. 30 days in the hole. That's what I needed. So, 5G. They're gonna turn it on. It's in the script. We put it in there. It's part of the plan of this part of the play. We already know thing technology that exists has ever existed is in the acting troupe. If that's what that's all that was going on down here. They would have already used all that, right? So everything that happens out there is part. I mean, there are rules. A 7/8 show runs between the 6 and the 9. There's God rules to this realm here. That's why it's all voluntary. We can't do anything other than what we put out there, that we manifest out there. And so it's still, as children, we're manifesting fear that the shadows on the wall are real. So Plato's cave, it was presented to us as a fable. It's a child's story. It's actually a very accurate description of our perceptual experience here, because we're watching shadows on the wall. So we'll just jump in anywhere, but child sex trafficking. What does that really mean? If you're afraid of that, it's actually what you're doing to yourself, because you're a child. And that a child is where the energy, chi, is held. Chi, held. It's a vesicle of God, and the king is in there. What is happening? The sex is 6. The king has his role to become a 6. So child, sex, and traffic. There's a 3 in the effect, and it's also traffic, moving around, movement of goods. So that, and then the king, child, sex, traffic, king. So we're doing that to ourselves because we're still operating from a child's mind view, and then that is affecting the other children around us. And that's why you're seeing it in your projection. That's why it's there, to get your attention. You really think all that stuff, that's what all the elite are doing? Why would it be that every authority figure ever go back as far as you want, and that they're all involved in stealing children and molesting them and bothering them? And then why would you accept that as to tell you how to run your life? It's because the plot is made to be that ridiculous that you would eventually question it and look for the hidden meaning to it. And another part of the plot is to have that come at you from a fellow man coming in your other ear, so that now you can look and recognize, oh yeah, that is pretty ridiculous. You really think there are people buying a child in a $14,000 box on Wayfair because you saw a website? How long has that message theme been around in our society? I've been watching this a long time. Someone even put up a newspaper article, 1994. Oh, guess what? Bush and Reagan, guess what they were involved in? Stealing children. And yeah, it's terrible. Out underground. It's all in your mind. It's the same part of that the script. How far back does the priest in the church, how far back does that go? When did that all start? It's always there, because that's what it's representative of. For you to take care of the child, yourself first, and then you become a 6. What is child sex trafficking? King is also like parking per the king. It's a little in the language, but the Holy Mary birth, and FEMA internment camps. What's FEMA? How long has this been on? Do you know anyone that's gone to a FEMA camp? What does that represent? FE is iron, and then Ma would be mother, nature. So Iron Mother, Iron Maiden. Is that what really protects you? We're already in a FEMA camp. You always have been, because you're protected by your maker. And the iron in your blood. Like, I saw that. My dad in the National Guard had to go down for the hurricane in South Carolina. Emily, I think it was called. And they were talking about FEMA camps there. That's why I first saw it. Oh, they got FEMA camps set up. Projections of what we're supposed to be doing in our hearts. The So maybe that would be the one to get you to decipher the theater that we're watching out there. Yeah, we're lost. Comedian Stephen Colbert, code, child sex trafficking. A comedian. Is he going to be the next? Oh, he's a pedophile. How many of these people on the play are you going to just say, oh, they're pedophiles? And they love children. That's what you're supposed to be doing to yourself. Love yourself, and then love everyone around you and help everyone around you. That's the new Jerusalem. Order out of chaos is just that. The frequency of the earth shifts up to its next, steady state vibrational configuration. So yeah, it's going to break apart. We're feeling that now. Going haywire, but then it gets rebuilt. Always. That's the order. So order out of chaos. The angel number, but it's the energy number, right? So it represents like the emotional stuff that's involved with something like child sex trafficking, but it's 710, and that's going to involve some elements of risk. It's the first and hardest step onto unfamiliar territory, like where you need to roll the dice and connect the dots and ask yourself who is manipulating you. You're still always going to go for the rest of your days here thinking that there's something out there beyond your control before you take responsibility for that projection to figure out what it is. And then you don't have to give it your energy or scare the other children around you. There's some big bad boogeyman out there. I mean, I went through the same process. I had all these pieces, but I still was manufacturing fear because I thought the government and all that was something separate from me. So I really had to go and just sit with that until I could figure it out, But of course, once you get that key, then it's your responsibility to go and share that to help the life that is in you. It's in all the life down here on this realm. That's how the whole design of this realm shifts. And child itself, I mean, big numbers, it's already in there. That child is designed to become a 666. It's 216 in English Gematria. We talked about that. The 9's going to be hidden. And the symbol, it's 36. So that's the child, the 3, getting information from the man, the 6. And the 9's still going to be hidden. Yeah. But it's there, 6 plus 3. Songbirds of the city. Talk about just the Bible is, there's nothing out of place in there because it's a code, book for us to use. But just review that. I mean, Methuselah was 969 when he died. So when Noah turned 600. So how old was Methuselah when Noah was born? 369, the magic frequency, right? The high fidelity information exchange. What's the coin shortage? Has this ever been a part of the play? Yeah, it's already been predicted, written in books, shown in movies. What does it represent? Because there's not enough heart here. Going away. It's being removed from the stage. That's what it represents. We were too focused down here on the money. And that was the representation, the coin. So, I mean, the more absorbed you get into your perception here, the further you separate yourself from creator. So, I mean, it's not, so yeah, are the transactions going to be tracked, digitally and more securely, like right up there, to get everyone, or the ones that is their next phase, if they haven't figured all that out. But we're learning that whole Babylonian system, it's all contained in our minds. It's our show. But that means we have responsibility for it, and we're in control of it, how we interact with that. That's what we learn. That's our incubation time here. I mean, I see, Fosse's back. Oh, just run it through your head, through your alpha and omega points up there until it all makes sense. Fosse, is it false? Yeah, because it's out there on the stage. Is it fasci? Fascia? Fascist government? Is it our faces? Facial nerve? It's just different layers of the projection. Different, octaves. but they're all on the same page. There's only so many morphemes and words. They're all saying the same thing to you. So yeah, Fossey is telling us to use our faces to build our community. That's what his job is, to be so ridiculous that you say, yeah, I don't want to take directions from that thing on the stage. It's like, well, there's going to be mandatory vaccine. Mandatory. Man, sounds pretty scary to a child. What is just go look in the Word. What's the legal, what is that? Just look at your Black's Law. Why is it Black's Law? Why is it not white law? Because it's the reflection. And just look through the meanings in there. There's an awful lot of contracts involved with the mandatory. And that talks, mandatory is also where things are born. So we know that everything that you engage in down here, there's an implied contract that you're probably ignorant of. Your birth certificate's a contract, but that's not an evil. It's just the way that system is set up until you're ready to become your own government and all that good stuff. I was in Costa Rica, and I didn't have any cell phone service, but I turned on the map, and there it was. They knew exactly where I was. All-seeing eye, Big Brother. So you can't hide from that. That one, what GPS, global positioning system. So the glow ball is the ball, that's your head, that's glowing. It's the Lucifer, light consciousness down here. And it wants to know where the Po is, the situation of the Po in the system, the systeme. But sis, they're missing the other eye, the Isis, the real thinking part of it. So that's why it's a global positioning system. I got inside information that the police they're like reorganizing. They're being repurposed because it's getting ready for the frequency that's coming in. They're not needed because who is policing anyone right now? Really, it's just us, the gods, but operating from child's mindset, from all our programming. But in the new age, there is not that, because it's just known. We are the all-seeing eye. We do that directly in a way that's helpful. So yeah, it's going to be reflected in that. The police will be redundant. When the final system comes in, people like, we got to battle the Satanists. We talked a little bit about what Satan is, but what is the child doing in the cave? It's sitting and watching the show. It's not participating as a man, because it doesn't know. It hasn't learned the rule, the responsibility for its own creation. So that's the Satanist. What Satan is, going on forever. In the early 80s, they had everybody talk about being a sovereign. Be your own government. Tell that government they're not needed. But of course, then it turned into a sovereign citizen, which was oxymoron, and that revealed that you didn't know what you were really talking about. So it was a test. Was it a trick? Yeah, it's to see if you really know in your heart if it's there. It's one thing to say, yeah, I believe in God, but there's a lie in there. It's a frequency. There's no denying that message of where the Christos comes in. So we do that categorization thing. We're trying to say, oh, is this what Christ is? A man? That one. Is it the oil, cerebrospinal fluid? There's that, the anointing. There's that one. It's that one. There's the 33 frequencies. That one. It's the whole octave. Wherever you look at it, it's a representation of that Christos, and it's where the heart, where it rests. Eventually, that your chest is just love. That's the whole God game down here. I posted a little video, but yeah, there's some reinforcements coming. There's children being born now. They're going to live to be 500 years old, because this knowledge is out there spreading. You can see that through the screen. We just happen to be, we materialized our way in our cocoon of our Babylonian part of the the stage down here. But yeah, no, there's a lot of places where they're not paying attention to the idiot box, and then you know he's more obvious there. But then I asked if someone was side of the whole Abraham that religious system, Brahmins. I mean, all India covers like just a lot of the world. But what is it still there in the mind for those that natural uncontacted humans? Yeah, but they call it like the trickster, the part of your mind where you manifest the shadow. So instead of Babylonian beast system, it's the trickster. Apartments, which means your mind is apart, building all these apartments into these cities, and then with the 5G and the screens, it's just the system is God creeping up in there, closer. It'll get increasingly uncomfortable for those people to continue to worry about who they're voting for. We don't need to worry about that. We're taking our loosh to create our new world, because we know that that's what gods do. It did to just do that by example. A lot of people around me that I know in Columbus, that's not their role. They're to test me, like how would I reach them? They can't be told. We know they cannot be told. They don't have that in their capability. But what would is by example. That's a pretty consistent theme. Lead by example. So that when they actually see it as it is, then they can cross over. But nothing else is. You're not going to tell them. So that's our cue for our role, to just do it and build that community. So I've just retired those people for now to do the doing and put the fascis and build our fascist network, strengthen numbers. That's all you can do. You can just do you. We weren't lying about that. What I saw, like the homeschooling stuff, someone had a great idea. The teachers want to teach, and the parents, their jobs and stuff, well, just pay the teachers directly. And they'll have smaller classes. They'll make more money. You've cut out the whole government 1/3 system. You don't need it. We never did. Well, we did, but it was because we weren't responsible, and our heads got filled with nonsense. But we teach that again to them. So what do you teach them? This message, that, and then it just right there in the email, teach kids to garden. That's back, right? That's all we need. Nature provides everything. Maybe we don't even need the few fruits and vegetables and stuff that it makes, but it's enjoyable. Talk about the samadhi realm, but we're just in the samadhi of like hell in the cities. But our natural samadhi, sun and then the water, and that's the real one. It gives us health, and it provides everything for us. So we had forgot that. But yeah, of course. And then us, because we're still children. Anything you want to do for your child, that's you. That's your parents. They're still children. Oh yeah. But yeah, absolutely, get reconnected there. Grounding, just get your bare feet out in the soil. And then your battery, your electrical system, just get charged up. So of course, I was just went to the park on Monday and just got real quiet, inside, and was just every cue of, and I realized the little kids there, they're manifesting their gods, right? Child. Their world, this world is they're just as important as any other child out here on the set. It's certainly more important than a 7 and 8 hologram that you're giving all your power away to and hurting them because you think that's real. Children hurting children. And then even the whole Mandela effect just popped. Well, it's showing you that what you thought you knew was a shadow. So it could be changed like that. Because you're watching shadows, just like 9/11. There's no planes. They were holograms. Hallowed Enneagram's a message. It's a message from God that you're watching shadows down here, and that you become the master of those. It's what's written into our cells. It's our script. They're on their script, but we got the 693, because the real gods, they're doing all that for us through you. They're a part of you. How long are you going to play that game? I just need to get some more people to know this about them over there. You don't win out there on the stage. You don't kill you don't beat a shadow. You make the shadow go away from your projector in your heart. It's now coming out through all that. That's how that happens. But yeah, it's a pincer move. So the set goes haywire, and then now here comes the frequency coming in. Keep seeing it more and more, little by little. Everything out there is symbolic of what is going on in the only place anything's ever really going on, in the God within you, right? As we're down here. So yeah, whatever it is you're trying to figure it out, go up there and look at it real close, see what it might really mean, and then find out what it represents, so you're not afraid of it. I mean, I see people, you want answers. You figure out the government's bullshit, and they treat you as commodity. But you gotta make peace with all that, because you put that there for you as well. You're 9 and the 6. That's 7-8. All that stuff is 7-8. You just think it's outside of you, but you're always going to be afraid of it because you don't know that you have control of it, and you're responsible for it ultimately. So you need to understand why it works the way it does. What is the real grand design, the real intelligent design of why all that is out there? We got the gematria. We know they're using these letters and these headlines and the emotions that it's supposed to bring out of us, but you just still get more wrapped up on it in the stage. How many pizza costumes do they need to put on before we say, yeah, doesn't make? Why would they be draping themselves in pizza? Come on. Thank Elizabeth. Thank you. Oh. Was playing the old finding patterns in the clouds. Everyone's done that, and seeing just beings up there, and then it was my face, everything, eyes looking at me. It was a 6-9 moment. The real 6-9 position, Of course, down here it's a little bit something else. Some just big picture stuff. People still trying to figure out what the COVID. Should I be afraid of this virus? And they start getting into the numbers. That's what the numbers do. They'll numb your head. And you turn. How many? You don't need, just cut it all off right there. Virus is your skin dust. No one's died from it. You don't even know what. I mean, it's so lazy now. It used to be like people figure out the mechanisms, and this immune cell was making this and that. They don't even bother with that anymore. I don't even question that. What are the mechanisms? They usually come up with a good cover story, or at least I did when I was trying to figure out how diseases worked and what would be the pathway. I was just like, I don't know. Died from COVID. It's increasingly ridiculous. Cut all that off. New cases. What is the cases? Hey, it might be a good thing that there's this many cases in Ohio, in downtown Columbus, Franklin. It's a red county. Why? Is that because there's a lot of people crowded in here? Is that where some of the friction, the trafficking, is becoming a problem? People more separated from nature and the creator by choosing to live in these insane sort of environments. This is going to get increasingly insane, increasingly crowded in the new super cities, high tech, and that all that coming in right up into the screen for those until they get it. I don't want to be one of those. Will help the ones I can. It's my obligation, duty, but you can only say these things so many times. Local guy though, good guy. He was in I think a farmer's market, and there was some conflict. Someone wanted him to put on a mask, and he got indignant. His Judah came up. So in his play, this scenario, to stand up and speak and say, hey, that's enough, knuckleheads, muggleheads, and but it went viral, thousands of views. And then he made another one of just a real nice song, peaceful, calm song, got 3 views. So he took the other one down just because of that. It's like, I'm disgusted with my fellow man. But why were people interested in that? Because when that Judah comes up, that's what they recognize in themselves. Everything you see out there that you're interested in, that's you, part of you, and because you're watching it through the mirror. Someone does something you like out there, you recognize it in yourself. Something that bothers you out there, you recognize it in yourself, that's something you want to address. But I think a lot of us want to see what happens out on the streets, and that was a case of it, because we're remembering that we have that voice, stand up and speak our piece to make the peace. So another guy went just over to Kroger and see what would happen, expecting there's gonna be all this and nothing. Nothing. No mask, nothing. I went to grocery yesterday, that's all I did. And but I did just running my chin game. And half the people I asked, I didn't know where anything was. It was a new Kroger, different part of town, and half of them had it off. They're doing physical work, stocking the shelves. They need oxygen. People aren't that stupid, Yeah, there's going to be some Karens out there, but whatever, just give them time. Like, God's working in those hollow spaces. We know how stupid it is. Just knowing that thought, it's affecting everything around you. And, I like to feel that. Like, when I checked in at this place, the guys, and I was like, yeah, he's sick of it, so I'm sick of it, we know it's bullshit, right? So I was like, good. Now there's the real commerce, right? It's the one we can trust, the one we know. If you're just watching even your computer and you're like, oh, everyone is just, gonna threaten me, and just go out, take it to the streets, and you have that in your heart, because now you're protected. You got your spiritual armor on. And that's to test it. So people are, if there's some magic place you can go somewhere to be around, but no, that's the only place you go, up here. Then the external manifestation that's projected reflects that. And you can enjoy that show. You got the ZZs out of your pia layer of your brain. Now the electric light show is out on there. You got a piazza, a plaza. It's a pleasure. You can enjoy the energy show that we manifest as gods. So yeah, but had a few cases where are these effects of wearing the mask. Yeah, people are getting sick, wearing them 8 hours at work. Seen that. People passing out, crashing cars. So one's like, well, if you cover your ears, you don't hear. Yeah, cover your eyes, you don't see. Cover your mouth and nose, but you can breathe. It's just to be that ridiculous. So it's helping me. So I can say, hey, doesn't that seem pretty ridiculous? And people say, yeah, it is. It doesn't make any sense. But I was buying beer out there in Babylon. Just for a moment there, I thought it was just so nice, just looking at all the colors and, I took a little break, little mini vaccination there. But I paid the guy $11, and he was muffled up and wobbling a little bit, and he handed me back 10. I said, well, bank error in my favor on this one, because it's a locally owned store, but he could tell you, for an accident and doing his job, and I don't know, I don't feel too bad about that one, but yeah, it's happening. I was in the bank, and I had my chin game on, and I worked, and there's the guard lady, and she looks at me, and oh, could you, and I put that, I looked right in the eye, and I said no, why? And I waited for a response. Because there is none, and she didn't have one. She's just, what about her business? Like, what about mine? So yeah, I feel people are the truthers out there. Like, I'm not gonna wear a mask, and well, you might be inviting that. It's one of those knucklehead Karen type things. I'm just like, I ain't got nothing to worry about on that. when I was in the mental ward, you know, they kept asking me, "What's going on with you, John?" Of course, you can't explain it, something like that, to someone like there. But it did come up. When you have a conversation with yourself, who's listening? It used to be my joke. Someone said, "Oh, I was just talking to myself." Is anybody listening? Like, is there? You know, that's a little God check. And of course, everyone can. That's what I would just ask them if they can do that. And yeah, further proof that everyone is a portion of God in that awareness. You couldn't have a conversation with yourself if there wasn't someone listening. That's God. It's always right there, hidden in plain sight. Hey guys, you knew that too when you cut yourself. Is that magic? That you were healed? What did all that? Were you like, oh, I gotta heal this wound? No, it was just done for you from your higher intelligence, the creator. It healed that. When you cut yourself, you can actually see that. But here you are, worried about your health being snatched from you out on the set. It's something you can't even see. How does that make your creator feel? How does it make you feel? That powerless? So the local guy, oh, I think, you know, they're arguing about what something Trump's supposed to be doing through the CDC. Could you get any more fucking lost, bro? That's where your mind is? When you have a creator in you? So I've been dropping a few pieces of that, you know. Try to be creative to wake people up, get them to think just a little bit. So yeah, I will do that. But yeah, of course someone is listening. Is the government listening? Yeah, because actually you designed that in the 7-8 technology show with your 6-9. Because ultimately God is accountable for all of life. Let's just think about that. They're like, oh, they're Agenda 21, they're going to round up people in the cities, and then there's going to be all natural green space for animals. It's like, that sounds pretty good. I would probably do that too. Because these humans are so powerful, but we're manifesting a shit world where we're breaking the law, and now we're suffering, and we wonder why. Stage. The government's supposed to be doing something for us that only we can do for ourselves. I mean, really? Tell you how to run your life? But even just back to the 5G, put it in. What the fuck is it? It's a soul contract. The original soul contract you have with you for all time. And you actually chose to go through these sequences of technology as so-called advancement. It wasn't done to punish you. It was for you to play with. So this generation, well, we got the little Coleco games and the little Atari, and you know, now some of the should be adult, I see them get trapped up in that, just playing, going into that virtual reality world. But we are in a virtual reality world, the original high-tech video game, this life. But the energy number on 5G is 737. So airplane, multiply it, you get 147, a solfeggio frequency. So yeah, 5G is in the script for this transition, this order out of chaos, that the life, the organism of the human earth, our collective beehive mind, is just doing it again, once again. And we're experiencing it, playing our part. So we master it. You know, we all started out as little kids. It's just, and our game was just that much more challenging because we had that many generations in front of us that didn't figure it out. But that's kind of fun for us to come up, and then all this stuff is written in there. The dates have been adjusted. We got all the collective minds now manifesting this. It's just, yeah, it just had to get a little bit ridiculous. Someone pointed out all the grocery stores and or department stores that we grew up with, and they're no longer here. But I remember that when I was 4 years old in Hills parking lot, Springfield, and I saw just the black snow on the cars. I was like, why is it snow to begin with, let alone now it's black and you're in a parking lot? I like, everything is wrong here. I remember that young. So I came here to address that stuff. I just didn't know it had to take. But that energy, what involves 5G is that there are some new ideas now that you got to let go of stuff you thought you knew, and that to have the new ideas, you have to learn to do that without being scared, right? I think that's our biggest thing, at least for me, is like, man, you can really make yourself afraid of stuff out there. But that's because you're at that stage that you can do that. I was just take a break, man. I go back to be that three-year-old little kid. He doesn't know, he's master manifesting, just like me, So that's a part of the world to help these children. But now we're the big kids have to like get together and have a little say-so there. That's a good thing. But everything that you give to the world will come back to you in the exact same form you have sent it. So I think that's been coming up in the memes. Yeah, you reap what you sow. It's always been true. From that 369, there's no resistance. There's no more arguing. That's just stuff at the age with the children. So it would become self-evident, transparent. That's just the way things are. That's all we actually have to do is remember that as we go about our commerce with our fellow man and our fasces. And that's it. It's right there. It's tangible. That's real. We're now we've mastered our show in the movie. So just the frequencies are coming. You just feel it, right? So, but we're just preparing ourselves to get ready for that. And part of that is just opening that little part in your mind to allow that in. And then, obviously, what we're doing here is just helping each other become more aware of that is what we are, that we are that powerful. But it just, it hurts me to see you guys get hurt because you're the life in me. When you're worried that all that crazy stuff is going on, you're just really, where there's 50. How many missing children do you? I mean, yeah, if you want to say, here's a case over here on set, and then but someone else is supposed to believe that, but now you're both just scared of something you have no control over. What's the good in that? You know that the missing children is all of us. That's supposed to be getting trafficked because nobody knows what's going on, and we're breaking the law. Just the numbers are all there, like as that script. So we'll just keep learning to decipher that script, right? Ciphers the ring. We got to get that ring completed. But back to that hurricane in South Carolina. What happened to all the weather? Weren't we supposed to be afraid of the weather for a while? Can we just have another tornado or something, and we'll just forget about all the COVID stuff? It's not the way that script works, right? It's tightly coordinated, and it's only got so much room to operate from. So we're just getting a few issues for us to master. It's like God sort of scooted all the chairs in, and we're like this close from the screen now to see if we can figure that out. And the pattern in there is more and more obvious. And there's actual people that are figuring out that pattern, and now we're part of the narrative. So it's just going to get more and more crazy, and those that hold on to it, they lose their minds in the end days. But it's just the transition. There's nothing bad that actually can happen because this is the hologram. The true you, the awareness, is eternal, indestructible, immortal. We forgot that to come down here and play that game, but then we remember that, and then we really play the game. The real human developmental life cycle. That's what it is. That's what God is. The Bible would just be like, and then the children just manifested fear, and then they were sad their whole lives and stuff, and then they died, and then end. Is that what's in there? Is that the whole story? You could believe that for a minute if you're that focused on this, what you're doing here. But that's why it's glitching to get you to make some room up there, get that light flipped on in the attic. It's becoming self-apparent. So we'll yeah, just kick back. I haven't been doing anything. I mean, I just feel that I slept like 12 hours last night. But it was nice too, because I was just completely, I didn't have anyone to answer to, you know. It was my self-time, my, you know, Moses wandered 40 years in the desert. Is that then the end? He got dehydrated and turned into, no, it's a preparation period. So we've had our time wandering down here in Vegas, and this is the next stage of the act. All right, everyone. Build our fascist government. Yeah, become responsible for that. So the next one you get in that riot and you tie that knot, now you know. And another one. That's what it was all about. That's the real humanity. But we've got to keep tapping on the shoulder and in the ear. You know, I'm not even worried about the so-called Muggle police force anymore, 'cause I'm protected. I was mad yesterday. You know, I was mad because I've seen it on my feed, and I was just tired. You know, you get edgy. But as soon as I haven't seen anything like that. So all your worries, you can kind of just go ahead and live them in your mind. That's how powerful it is. Just go ahead and do it there, and then it doesn't have to be part of your sensory experience down here. I mean, someone's like, we're just going to wear them for the next 20 years. All right. I know where I'm going to be, but, you know, it will just go away. The Trumans we're doing it up here, and all that goes away, no matter where we see. You know, we don't run away in fear from it, because it's us. That's our play, to do that work up there. And you're not afraid, and then you're that example. We have that community of people that are helping each other. That 666 network. That's all we can do. That's all we have to worry about. And then the other little kids, maybe they'll see it. That's the only way they learn, by example. We know that. Children learn by example. So the 666 is just be that example. So, all right, we'll pick up where we left off. Till next time, everyone. Much love.